we're going to start. Let's just start up now. Okay, so for those that are online, right? So those that are online with us, studying with us, don't forget that we have a material that we use. Okay, so to get it, www.studyguard.g. All right, so if you want to get the materials, you go to this site. Okay, www.studyguardmaterials.com.ng. So you get it there. Okay, all right. So when you open the site. Okay, you have where you have the button there, Study Guard material. You click on that button. Okay, you click on what? On that button. Alright, you click on that button, then will take you to Study Guard materials. Then you scroll down. When you scroll down, you go to where we have Study Guard. You go to where we have Study Guard on the Gospel of Christ. Okay, scroll down where we have Study Guard on the Gospel of Christ. That's the material we're using. Okay, alright. So then when you click on it, where you have read, you click on it. It takes you to what? Those chapters. And as soon as you get to the chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, then you click on chapter 4, I beg your pardon. You go to click on chapter 4, then you to open, and then in chapter 4, we have what we have in chapter 4 is another gospel that is against the gospel of Christ, and we have gone so far on that word, on that light. Okay, another gospel that is against the gospel of Christ, so we have gone so far on that. Okay, so about the gospel of Christ, that is the misconception of what? Of the gospel. We did that. Okay, that's what we said. And then for understanding, that is the misconception of what? Of the gospel. So we now said that, okay, misconception of what? Of the gospel. And we have gone far. All right, so and we said this misconception is a contrary to the concept of what? Of the gospel, or description of what? Of the gospel. And we treated beware of the message of what? Circumcision. If you go through, you just be seeing them there. So what you have to do is to what? Is to go to our YouTube if you want to get the video. If you want to get the video, you go to our YouTube. Okay, so if you want to get on the search bar, Study Guard materials. All right, so don't space it. You just put it together. Study Guard materials on the YouTube, then you get it that way. I also encourage you to what? If you are not a subscriber, try to subscribe so that we can be able to move on with this platform for us to have what? Understanding. Are you following? Good. So that's that. So that's that. So let's just go straight to what we have this morning. Remember, we said another gospel that is against the gospel of Christ, chapter what? Chapter 4 of the material, Study Guard on the gospel of Christ. Okay? Then we are looking at beware of what? Beware of worship of images or idols. Now let me remind you quickly, but get the tape, go to our YouTube, get the tape to remind you quickly. Remember I told you about fables. I said our forefathers started the word fables. The word fable means stories. The word fables means stories, okay? Stories that have to relate to what? Animals. Okay, so our forefathers did all these things to bring a moral lessons, okay, in the standpoint. So they establish fables. Then from fables, they establish endless genealogies. Are you getting it now? They are there in the material there. Then go to the YouTube, you get the video in the standpoint. So endless genealogy. From endless genealogies, they went on by what we call tradition. Tradition of the word of the elders. Are you following? Tradition of the elders. They went on with tradition of what? Of the elders. From the tradition of the elders, they went on to what? What you called, what we treated last week. Okay? Superstitious or religious belief. Understand our point? God was not the one that started religion. It is what? It's our forefather that started religion. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So all these are points for you to have understanding. So know where all these things came from. It's not from God. So it's established from what? It's established by what? Our forefathers. And these things are creeping in because already a struggle in families already. All right, it's a struggle in families already, and there is a strong persecution when you are a Christian in that family. They will try to let you keep those forefathers' belief, and when you don't want to keep it, they persecute you for that. Okay. Now the sad part of it is that all these things are now creeping into what? Into the denominational churches. Are you getting it now? Are you getting it? So those are the things. So now today, and I said, okay, fables, terminology, tradition of elders, superstitious or religious belief. That's what our forefathers has established. Then the final one I want to talk about this morning is worship or idols. That's what we're going to look at this morning. So we'll just look at that. We have treated all of them, okay? So you go get the tape. Understand this. So we're going to look at worship of images or what? Or idols. All these were established by our forefathers, were not established by God. Are you getting it? Are you following? So let's just go straight to our material, because it appears that today is a long one. So let's see if we can do let's just try our best. Let's see. Now beware of worship of images or idols. Is what? It's another gospel. I'm reading from our material. These people believe that you can pray through images to God. You see it now? Images of men. Are you getting it now? Can pray through it now. The shrines uses images. Are you getting it now? Churches also are now using images. Are you getting it now? There are some churches that uses the images of Jesus. That is not Jesus Christ. Are you getting it now? So those images you see people put in their, maybe whether their altar or whatever about Jesus, that's not Jesus. Okay? Are you following what I'm saying now? That's not Jesus. Jesus is not like that. Are you getting it now? Read the book of Revelation, you will see who Jesus is. So they are putting someone's image. Because the people image they are putting there, those people that acted. Understand? They acted Jesus. Are you getting it now? Those of us who do watch Jesus film. The Jesus film you watch, those persons that they acted like Jesus. So many of them are not carrying those people images. Understand the point? Which is wrong. So those people acted it, and they did well by acting it. Anybody can act whatever he wants to act. Are you getting that? It's not wrong. Somebody can act like God and say it's God. Okay? That's to portray, to show the people that there is God. Are you getting it now? But now taking that person images to what? To use it, that's what is wrong. Are you getting it now? Are you following? So now you now find out that what? These images of men and women, even in the shrine, there are images now. Even in the churches, the same thing. I get it now. Images of animals, images of what? Animals, images of animals, reptiles, sun and what? And moon, etc. All these things are what we need to understand. Started by what? Our forefathers. Now it's not creeping into what? Into the church so much. Are you getting it now? Deuteronomy chapter what? 14. Oh, I beg your pardon. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 15 to 19. Let's start from that point. Remember, I told you last week, I said idolatry was not founded by the Israelites. Are you getting it now? I told you last week, it was not. It was God that established Israel. He called Abraham out of idolatry and started up what? A nation. So there was nothing like idolatry when it comes to Israel. Israel was the one copying from other nations. Are you getting it now? Israel was the one copying from what? Other nations. Alright? So they did, and God was annoyed of them. Now look at what God spoke through the mouth of Moses to what? Excuse me. God spoke through the mouth of what? Moses to the children of Israel. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 15 to 19. Remember, God came, alright, in Mount Sinai. Look at what he said concerning that step in that regard. Now, Deuteronomy chapter 4, 15 to 19. He said, take ye therefore good heed unto yourself, for ye saw no manner of what? Similitude on the day that the Lord spoke unto him in Horeb, out of the midst of what? Of the fire. So when God came on the mountain like a fire, they did not see anything. That's what Moses told them. Moses said, be careful. When God came on the mountain, there was no form. There was no shape. Besides, fire has no shape. Fire has no form. Am I correct? He came what? The fire or what upon the mountain, but he has no shape and he has no what? He has no form. And you get what I'm saying now? So these are things you must have understanding. So it came on that there was no shape, no form. That's what it said. That's what you call the similitude. Similitude has to do with what form. There's no form, there's no shape. Are you getting it now? Then Moses went further by 16. He said, lest ye corrupt yourself and make a graven image. They said God came on this mountain, it did not have any form. So you should not be deceived by saying that what? Oh, God looked like a male. God looked like a female. And get it now. Then you will not begin to create a male. You understand my point? And worship me. You understand? For worship male or female. You have to get the likeness. I get what I'm saying now. So that's what Moses told them. Then verse 17. He said the likeness of any beast. Excuse me, please. Excuse me. I'm coming, please. I bet me with your phone that opened the study guide. Let me tell you the phone that have study guide. I'm coming. Give me any of your phone that opened the site, because this moment appears that I don't know. The thing is just opened. Okay. Let me use your phone. Because this moment I don't know whether it's network that is worrying the phone or what. Let me use your own phone. Alright, so please you can pair with someone else to what. Okay, let me use it. Okay, look at it now. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 15 to what? 15. Okay? Okay, that's open now. Now look at it now. It said verse 17, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that fly in the world, in the air. You see it now? It said, then you will not look at the beast. Okay? That's what it said. Don't look at the beast in the field on the earth, or the one that flies, or the birds of the air, and you will not look at it and say, oh, you will not look at it and say, oh, maybe these are God look like, or maybe this is a way you can pass through. You can pass through this to what? To get to God. And that's not a point. You're not beginning to have images. So we're telling you of easy not to get yourself involved in those things. Are you getting it now? Are you following? Now, verse 19. Okay, then in our verse 18, it said likeness of anything that creepeth on the earth, on the ground. What are those things that creepeth? Like snake, and start point, like a lizard and whatever. Maybe looking at all those reptiles and I say, oh, maybe through these reptiles we can reach God. You know, that's why you find out that images are comprises. We're saying images are comprises of that of what things in the heavenly places. Like the sun, the moon, the stars. I get what I'm saying now. Then come down to the earth. Some look at the male and female. They make image. You understand the point? Then some look at the fish. They look at the reptile. Some use snake. Some make images of several things like that because they want to reach God. I get it now. They think that through those creatures they can reach what? They can reach God. And God is speaking through Moses. That's why I told you that Israel was not founded on idolatry. Are you getting what I'm saying now? I get it. Not founded on idolatry. So you see that Moses was talking to them in that regard. But when you want to talk to we that are Gentiles on this regard, there'll be what? A lot of conflict. Why? Because our elders will say, no, this is our word, the tradition of our elders. We must keep to this tradition. Understand the point? Because every one of us on the Gentile listen came from this idol worship. Are you getting it now? Okay, that's why there's always issues. I get it now. Then the family when it comes to this aspect. Then now go to the church. It's not creeping into the church gradually. All right, let's quickly look at that because we have a long way to go this morning. All right, let's look at 18. Likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground. Okay, likeness of any fish that is in the water beneath the earth. Maybe looking at the fish, you will not say, okay, people will not say, okay, should we go maybe through the two fish and whatever. You understand? Point we can what reach God. They now make image of it. Moses said they shouldn't do such. Now verse 19. Unless thou lift up thy eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the moon, the sun, the moon, and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy God has divided unto all nations under the whole world, under the whole world. heaven. You see now, he was just letting them know that don't look up to heaven. Look at the stars and say, oh, maybe if we make images of these creatures, in the standpoint in the heaven, in the heaven, or maybe with that one we can reach what? We can reach what? We can reach God. And you get what I'm saying now? So that shouldn't be their word, what they should think about. You understand? So he said, you look at the earth, do not get involved into images like that, creating the images and think that through those images they can reach what God. So that the things Moses was letting them know, which I get it now. Now let's see Romans chapter 1. Romans chapter 1, verse 23 and 25. This is Paul. Paul wrote to the church in Rome. He wrote to the church in Rome. I see what he told them. He said, verse 23. I'm reading verse 23 and 25. He said, and change the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like unto what? Corruptible what? Man. Talking about the Gentiles. They're getting adjoined by the Gentiles. You understand the point? Because people were in search of God. They want to know how to reach God. I get it now. So because they could not ever, like our forefathers, the Gentiles, because they were unable to reach God, what did they have to do? They have to change the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like unto what? Corrupt man. Because men, even at that time, some men were having some supernatural powers. Yes or no? They were claiming as if they were gods. They were able to bring fire from heaven. They were able to do water and other things. Many things were happening. They were forming themselves as God. So people were now saying that man can also have what? You understand the point? Power in that form. They have to make images of some of those men. I get it now. I started worshiping through those forms. And this is Paul. Paul said that is what men were evolved into. Understand the point? Images. Then he went on to say, and to birds and footed beasts and creepy things. They look at those things. I get it now. They look at what? Those things. Now jump to verse 25. Who turned the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the Creator? You see it now? All these are the creature. We are creature. The birds are creature. You understand the point? Now because of those things, some people, understand the point, started worshiping those creatures because of some supernatural things that they observe. Are you getting it now? Those are the things. 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. So you see it now. So you can see that all these things did not come from what? God. And God put a nation called Israel for what? A nation called what? Israel for what? For that example. Are you getting it? I'm not saying that we should what? Worship Israel. No. I'm only trying to let you know that we should have understanding that Israel was never idolatry. Are you getting it now? Are you getting it now? We're not involved into idolatry. Understand? Abraham came out from idolatry and the gospel was preached toward Abraham. Are you getting it now? So these are things you must have understanding. Alright? So if you look at many of those study guides like Generational Endeavor, you will see all those things. Then just like that. So that's that. So let's read from our material again. So this message of worship of images or idols is also against the gospel of Christ. Okay? Now, what we're going to do this morning, I don't know how far we're going to get in this morning, but just be patient with me this morning for understanding sake. Understand? So let's look at examples. Examples of what? Idolatry. I want to just quickly look at examples. It's a long one anyway, but let's just be patient. One example. Remember we talked about familiar spirits. When we're looking at what? Superstitious or religious belief. We talk about familiar spirit. Now, workers with familiar spirit, like King James is what? Workers with familiar spirit. What does that refer to? They have familiar word spirit. It's an example of what? Idolatry. So those workers of what? Workers with familiar spirit is an example of idolatry. I get it now. Don't mind my writing, please. It's there in your material. And you check your Bible, okay? Now, workers with familiar spirit. So those people have familiar spirit, and their example, like familiar spirit, their example, whether the person using palm, and this guy came into the church. Pastors are not involved into palm, reading of palm. Some are involved into what? Diplomacy, talking to dead, and other things. So you see all the things that are creeping. I remember I showed you one of the places in Deuteronomy. He told the children of Israel not to learn those abominations. I get it. Not to learn those words, those abominations. Now, those workers with familiar spirit, they are also an example of what? Idolatry, because they have familiar spirit. Let's see 2 Kings chapter 23 verse 24. I says a long one, but just be patient. 2 Kings 23:24. This was the time of a young guy called what? Is it Josiah? Josiah, a king. Think of what happened there. Say, moreover, the workers with familiar spirit and wizard. I told you, as all of them are all the same. Okay? And images. You see now. So you see that this familiar spirit now, they also use images. I get it now. They use images. And the images, idols, and all the abominations that were spied in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem did what? Josiah put away, that he might perform the words of the Lord which were written in the book that what Ekiah the prince found in the house of the Lord. I get it now. So you could see that when you read through, you find that the familiar spirit, there is what? The connection of what? Images and idols with them. Are you getting it now? Because this familiar spirit, whether it's a wizard, whether it's the cremaster or whatever, they are all involved into what? Images or idols. Are you getting it now? Images or what? Or idols. Are you following? So that's an example. That's why you find out. So that they use those things in a connection, and they think through that they can what? They can reach God. Now another example of idolatry is shrines. What is shrine? Places where idols or juju are kept and worshipped. Is another example of what? Idolatry. Is that I get it? Where they keep images. Understand the point? Where they keep those images, where they keep those juju. Understand the point? Those are also example of idolatry. Let's see King James, 2 Kings chapter 23 verse 8 and verse 19. Then probably we'll look at NIV if possible. Let's see 2 Kings 23 8 and 19. Look at verse 8. And he brought all the princes out of the cities of Judah and defiled the high places where the prince had burned incense. You see, that's idolatry. From Gibeah to Beersheba, and broke down the high places of the gates that were in the entry of the gates of Joshua, the governor of the city, which were on a man's left hand at the gate of the city. Now jump to verse 19. See verse 19. And all the houses also of the high places that were in the cities of Samaria, which the kings of Israel had made to provoke the Lord to anger, Josiah took away and did to them according to all the heart that he has done in what? In Bethel. Look at something there. You understand? There are high places. I get it now. These high places, they now build shrine on that high places where they keep idols. Even in Bethel too. Bethel. The word Bethel means the house of God. Even the house of God, they brought idols in there. Are you getting it now? So you can find out shrine can be, most times shrine can be anything, provided there's an idol there. If there's an idol there, is a shrine. You understand? You can call it church, but it's a shrine. Are you getting it now? You can call it temple, it's a shrine. Because there's an idol there. Are you getting it now? So see what NIV said. NIV, 2 Kings 23, 8 and 19. NIV said Josiah brought all the princes of the town of Judah and this great word, the high places from Gibeah to Beersheba, and where the prince had burned incense. Incense is also part of idolatry. We'll see that later on. He broke down the gateway at the entrance of the gate of Joshua, the city governor, which were on the left of the city gate. Now jump to verse 19. Just as he had done at Bethel, that's what I told you. You see now, they brought Bethel, the house of God, they brought idols in there. They built a shrine there. They built images and worship. Are you getting it now? Are you following? So they built it there, even in Bethel, the house of God. So when you see funny things happening in denominational churches, it's an example of what? Disobedient of what? Just like Israel was disobedient to God in that aspect. Gentiles also disobedient to God and bringing all the damnable things into what? Idols into what? Into the denominational church. You see it now. Now verse 19. It said, just as he had done at Bethel, Josiah removed all the shrines at the high places that the king of Israel had built in in the towns of Samaria, and that had arose the lost word anger. Are you seeing it now? So you could see that shrine is another example. Are you getting it now? You can call it church. It's a shrine. Are you getting it? So one day we'll talk about church for us to have understanding. All right? Church is not a place. It's not a place. It's a people. We'll see that later on, but not today. All right, let's look at the third one. It's a long one anyway, but be patient with me, like I told you this morning. The third one, we're looking at sacrifice. Sacrifice is another, could be another example. All right? Sacrifice could be another example. I just went straight to read. Now, the sacrifice of blood of goats, bulls, or animal is an example of idolatry, where they kill animals. You understand my point? They kill animal as a way of sacrifice. You understand my point? It's idolatry too. Are you getting it now? Now see what Isaiah told. See what Isaiah told what? The children of Israel. Isaiah chapter 66 verse 3. He said, he that killeth what? An ox is as if he slay a man. You see it now? Look at it now. You get it now. That's what Isaiah said. All these sacrifices you are doing Israel, all these are babadash. Is that point? He said, because if you kill an ox, it's as if you have slain a man. Are you getting it now? And he that sacrificed a lamb, as if he has cut off a dog's neck. That's what he said. And he that offer a what? Oblation. What is oblation? Oblation is whereby they carry what? Food, whether in a plate or whatever, and present it to what? To the gods. You understand the point? Present to the gods. That's oblation. You understand the point? Down in Africa here, what people do is that some do oblation by digestion. You put food by digestion. Understand the point? It depends on the places. Alright, get what I'm saying now? Why some present it to what? To their idol. So just like that, that's oblation. Understand the point? He said, he that offer an oblation as if he offers swan's blood. He said, people that do such, that bring those grain, no food to what? To idols. It's like they are offering what? A swan's blood. You see now? He that burn incense. You see now? There's also burn incense in these places. In those shrines places. He that burn incense. You understand the point? As if he bless an idol. So know that also using people are also using incense is idolatry, and as they are doing it, like see they are blessing idol. As I said so. Yeah, they have chosen their own ways. You see it now, because that's their ways, not the ways of the Lord. They have chosen their own ways, and they are so delighted in their what? In their abomination. Why did the Bible say they have chosen their own ways? Because that's not the way of God. God instructed Israel not to involve in such a thing. Now they decided on their own to what? To follow their own ways. Are you following? Now let me read Isaiah chapter 1 verse 11 again. This is Isaiah himself too. Look at chapter 1 verse 11. See what he said. To what purpose the multitude of your sacrifice unto me, said the Lord, and full of the burnt offerings of rams, and fat of fed wild beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks, or of the what? Or of the lambs, or of the goats. You see it now. God told them, he said, do not have delight over those things, because idolatry has eaten up what? Israel at that time. Now let's see other part of sacrifice. Remember I told you, I said the third one is sacrifice. Oh please, pardon my reasoning, okay? Pardon my spelling, please. Okay, sacrifice. Alright? Now, now the next sacrifice we're going to look at, also the sacrifice of human blood, is an example of idolatry. We sacrifice human blood. Some, even Israel was involved in killing their children, their sons and their daughters, and giving it to war, the idols of what? Of Canaan. They were involved in all those things. They even allowed their children to go through fire. All these are idolatry. Israel was involved into those things because God did not establish Israel about idolatry. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Now let's see it. Psalm of David says so. Psalm 106, verse 36 to what? 38. What did he say? And they serve their idols. You see it now? You see all the terms? They serve their idols. That shows to you that Israel supposed not to be involved into idolatry, because they serve their idols. Means they involve themselves in something different from God. They serve their idols, which were a snare unto them. You see it now? That idol became a captivity. It's not a point. Became a trap unto them. Yea, verse 37. They sacrificed their sons and daughters unto devils. You see it now? They revolted to human rituals. They were not sacrificing their sons and daughters unto devils. 38. What did the Bible say? Verse 38. and shed innocent blood. They went further by shedding innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan. And the land was polluted with what? With blood. You see, sacrifice. So we need to be very careful. All these are things. And now these things are sweeping into the denominational churches. That's our point. And even in cities, societies, all of them involved in all this world, all these menace. Now let's look at another sacrifice again. Also, the sacrifice at the junction is another example for idolatry. You know, I told you before, I said, when we were reading Isaiah just now, I said, people give food. It can be at the junction or whatever and whatever. Let's look at the case of Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar now is coming to Israel because Ezekiel says so. Ezekiel said, when Nebuchadnezzar will be coming to war to Israel, he will stand at the fourth junction. Understand? We'll start at the two, I beg your pardon, at the two junction or something like that. Okay? And then he will do what? His rituals and other things to know which direction and whatever. And that thing will not lead him to Israel because Israel already involved into idolatry. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now, let's see it. You can read from verse 1 on your own. Let me cut it short. Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 21. It said, for the king of Babylon stood at the parting of the way, at the end of two ways. That's two junctions. I get it now. To use divination. He will use divination there. I get it now. And make his hallowed what? Bright. He consulted with images. He looked in the word, in the liver. You see it now. He will get the junction and he will do all those rituals. And the direction will face what? Israel. Because Israel has involved into what? Idolatry. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Are you getting it now? So I think you read NIV yourself on your own because of time, please. Alright? Read NIV on your own because of time. Then also the sacrifice in the garden. There's another sacrifice in the garden. At the grave. You see now, some do sacrifice in the garden, sacred garden. Some have sacred garden. Are you getting it now? Then also some go to the grave to do sacrifice. They burn incense. And burning of incense is an example of idolatry. Are you getting it? Let's see what Isaiah will say. Isaiah was the one that did that prophecy. So Isaiah told Israel. Isaiah chapter 65, verse 3 to 4. It's a long one, so I'm trying to cut it short in righteousness, please. Okay? Isaiah 65, verse 3 to 4. What did he say, verse 3 and 4? Verse 3. A people that provoke me to anger continually to my face. So I'm telling Israel. You provoke me to anger to my face. That sacrifice in the garden, a sacred place. I get it now. And burn incense upon the altars of bricks. Remember we talked about one of the places where we say, either Isaiah said, the same Isaiah said, those that burn incense is as if they are what? Blessing what? Idols. Like that's what we saw that in one of the chapters. Go back and see them. Okay? Now verse 4 says, which remain among the graves. Say some go to the graves. Do rituals in the grave. Get powers in the grave and those things. I get what I'm saying now. Israel was involved in those things. This is why I'm using Israel as an example for you to have understanding that it was not from God. All these fables and this I'm teaching you now, fables, genealogy, tradition of elders, superstitions or religious belief, worship of images or idols was not from God. So the only example we can use to give is to use Israel as an example. Because if we use Gentiles as an example, it will not make sense. Because we came from idolatry. Yes or no? It will not make sense. Because our elders will say, no, this is our tradition. We must keep to it. Then what are you going to say? Are you getting it now? So that's why you need to understand it so that you can stand. You understand our point? You can stand and use scriptures and using Israel as well as example. Are you getting it now? Israel messed up. They evolved into idolatry. Then the prophet came up and did a prophecy in that state. Are you getting it now? Huh? Okay. Now 66 of the same Isaiah. Isaiah himself today. Let's see chapter 66 verse 3. We read that before this morning, but let's read it again. He that killeth an ox, is as if he slay a man. You see it now? And he that sacrificeth what? A lamb, as if he cut off what? A dog's neck. You see it now? All these are things. You see? And he that offer an oblation, we said that this morning, earlier, as if he offer what? Swan's blood. He that burneth incense, as if he blessed what? And what? An idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways. And they are so delighted in their own abominations. Are you seeing it now? So, those are things you must have understanding about. Are you getting it? So idolatry you cannot use any nation to what as a teach example. You can only use Israel as example. Because Israel was not established by what? Was not founded by idolatry. Was founded by what? What I call theocracy. That the government of who? Of God. I get it now. Get it now. So by the grace of God, volume 7, that's what I will bring all these things in volume 7 for us to have understanding. Are you getting it? So that we begin to get that understanding in that light. Okay? That's it. Now let's proceed. Now we have done sacrifice. Now let's now look at cutting. Another example of idolatry. Cutting of body. Some people cut their bodies for the dead. You see it now? And putting of what? Putting on what? Tattoo. You see it now? I get it now. That's idolatry. Like some people, they cut their body for the dead. If their dead one died, they cut their body. You see it now? Israel was told not to get themselves involved. I get it now. Then tattoo, putting tattoo on your body is idolatry too. I get it because tattoo came from our what? Our forefathers, not from God. Then God instructed Israel not to involve in such a thing. Let's see scriptures. What Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. Leviticus 19, 28. What did he say? You shall not make any cutting in your flesh for the dead. Because that relationship with what? Necromancy now. I get it. Don't cut for the dead. So not print any marks upon you. I'm the Lord. Are you getting it now? So don't print any marks. That is tattoo. Let's see what NIV will say concerning that. NIV said, do not cut your bodies. Leviticus 19:28. NIV said, do not cut your bodies for the dead, or put tattoo marks on yourself. I'm the Lord. You see it now. So all these things are idolatry. Cutting self for the dead. Putting on tattoo. All those are what? Idolatry. Israel was told not to get themselves involved in it. I get it now. Israel was told not to get themselves involved. Now let's see other example. Consecration. I beg your pardon. Consecration. Are you getting that? Consecration and purification is also idolatry. It's an example. What is consecration and purification? This is where that people what? Get sham. They get sham, they get juju, they put on their body. Some eat several animals. Some get those sham so that bullet can't get through. That they can vanish to somewhere else. They can do other things. You understand the point? I get it now. Okay? I get it now. Aha. So those are the things. And the Bible says, consecration and purification is an example of idolatry. E.g. sham, eating of animals for what? Consecration, and what? And purification. Some eat rat, e.g. rat, pigs. They eat animals for all those things so that they can get sham. All these things are what? They are idolatry. Let's see what the Bible says in that one. Isaiah also picked that for understanding sake. Are you getting it? Now listen to this. All these things that you see now, God was warning them. Okay? Like what we read Leviticus 19 was an instruction that Israel should not be involved. Now the one we are reading Isaiah and the other prophet. You know the one we are prophet? That's why I told you that because of time. Like the one we have, let me go back. Okay, like we read 2 Kings 23 verse 24, Israel was involved already in that part. Okay? If you read 2 Kings 23, 8 and 19, the same thing was involved. Then Isaiah 63 verse 3, Isaiah 1 verse 11, Israel already involved in it. Are you getting it? Then Psalm, where we read, Israel already involved. The only one that Israel not involved when it was said was what? Leviticus 19 was an instruction. Don't get yourself involved. I get what I'm saying now. Now the others we have been reading, Israel already involved. It was a rebuke. I get it now. That you have done what is wrong. You have involved into war. You are following your. That's why you find out that you see some of the scriptures that will say you are following your own. They follow their own ways, their own idols, to show that they are already what involved. Are you getting what I'm saying now? That's why I told you that you cannot do a solid teaching about idolatry using Gentiles as example. Otherwise, there will be more trouble. The only people you can use as example is Israel, because Israel was not founded on idolatry. Are you getting it? by what you call theocracy. You will see that in Volume 7 when it's out. I'll show you those things. So that's why you see those things in that light. Are you getting it now? So that's that. So just read on your own. Okay, let's go back. Consecration and purification. That's what Isaiah 66 verse 17. What did he say? He that sanctify, they that sanctify themselves need to consecrate. Sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens. Remember we said something about the garden in one of the scripture. That they stay in the garden. That garden is a place where they do what? They consecrate themselves. They purify themselves to get those shams, to get those juju, to get those things. I get what I'm saying now. Israel was involved into it. They learned those things from the Gentile nations. Are you getting it now? Are you getting it now? They learned those things from the Gentiles world, Gentiles nation. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens, behind one tree is in the midst. You see it now? Behind one tree, there's a tree in the midst, and that tree is an idol. I get it now. It's an idol where you see they put some kind of concussions and other things around that trees and whatever. You get what I'm saying now? Then what did they do? Say behind what? Behind one tree in the midst, eating swan's flesh, because they cook. They have to cook those things for them to eat. And the abomination and the marks, right, shall be what? Consumed together, said the Lord. That's what Isaiah said. All of you that are involved in just sort of thing, you understand my point? That goes to that place and concentrate yourself or whatever. God's judgment is coming upon you. That's what Isaiah was telling them. He said, God will consume them. He was telling Israel in that light. You get it now? LT, what the LT said. Those who concentrate what? Who concentrate and purify themselves in a sacred garden. You see it now? With his idol. In the center. You see, that tree is an idol. You see it now? That's what NLT said. He said they consider themselves and there's an idol in the center. Feasting or what? On pork. Pork is the swan. Pork, rat. Another word, this word, detestable meat will come to a terrible end. Saith what? The Lord. Israel was involved into those things. I get it down. So that's what consecration and what purification. Now the next one is dedication. Please pardon me. I told you, I said we are going to what? We are going to finish up this morning if possible. Now dedication to idols. This is a part where they dedicate. I get it now. They dedicate. I get it now. Dedication to idols is another example of idolatry. They dedicate. I get it now. Let's see what happens in the days of Josiah. You see what happened there. 2 Kings chapter 23 verse 11. What happened there? And he took away the horses that the kings of Judah has given to the sun. You see it now. They dedicated to the sun god. I get it now. The horses they dedicated to the sun god. And the entry in of the house of the Lord. You see it now. By the Shabbat of what? Melech. Okay, the Shambalim, which was in the world suburbs, and burned the what? The chariot, and burned the chariot of the sun, and what? And fire. So they dedicate the horses to what? To the sun god. Are you seeing dedication? Getting it now. You know why they did it? So that if they want to go out for battle, the sun god will now protect them. It not look like the god of war, like the god of war. Let me borrow that language. I get it now, to protect them. They no longer depend on God again. That I get it now. That is it. And all these things were coming out. All these things were happening before Josiah came. And Josiah was purifying every place. You understand my point? That was involved into what? That the kings of the past, king of Israel, were involved into, and he was purifying all the places. Are you getting it now? Removing them, and just like that. Let's see what NIV will say. NIV said, he removed. Remember I told you. NIV said, 2 Kings 23 verse 11. NIV said, he removed from the entrance to the temple of the Lord. You see it now? Where did they put it? The entrance of the temple of the Lord. You see it now? They did not put it, you understand? And that's why I told you that anywhere you put those things, whether you put it at church or whatever, it's idolatry. I get it now. Somebody want to scream and say, oh, you are kicking against the church or whatever. Even the temple of God, they turn it to idolatry. Then you expect your international church will not be turned to idolatry. Your temple, the temple of God and the international church, who say who more what? Answer me. You get what I'm saying now? That's what we brought. I understand it. That's why I told you that the only way we can get an accurate example to teach when it comes to idolatry, you understand point, as an example, is what? Is Israel. Nobody else. No nation. You get it now? So these are the things you must have understanding about. So let's proceed. He removed from the entrance to the temple of the Lord the houses that the king of Judah had dedicated to the sun. You see it now? They were in the court near the room of an officer named Natan Melik. Then he said, Josiah then burned the chariot dedicated to what? To the sun. So all these are things. Understand? So these are things we don't understand. The other one we want to look at is symbols or pictures. Can call it symbols or pictures. It's what? It's an example of idolatry. See it now? Pictures, symbols. Sometimes you people use symbols, idolatry symbols. You see, I get what I'm saying now. Let's see what Isaiah will say concerning idolatry symbols or pictures. Let's see what Isaiah said. Isaiah 57 verse 8. Remember when the prophet speaks, when you read out the prophetic side, you know that Israel is already involved. Okay? Only one scripture that we have read was an instruction in terms of like, don't do that. That's Leviticus 19. But the other ones we have been reading, Israel was involved. Alright? I get it, they're already involved in those idolatry. Then Josiah, in the case of Josiah in 2 Kings 23, Josiah is purifying the world, the city, because it's not in the new king. You get what I'm saying now? Let's see what Isaiah will say regarding to symbols. See what Isaiah says. Say, behind the doors, you see it down? Behind the doors also, some put those symbols. Behind the doors. And the posts, you see it now? They put behind it on the posts. And that set up their remembrance. For thou hast discovered thyself. Thou hast discovered thyself to another than me. You see what it said? And I've gone up, thou hast enlarged thy bed, and made thee a covenant with what? With them. Thou lovest their bed. You see? Where that word, thou sowest what? Sowest it. You see it now? Let's see what NIV. Two translations we're going to read. NIV and LT. Let's see NIV regarding to that Isaiah 57 verse 8. What the NIV said? Behind your door and your doorposts, you have put your pagan symbols. You see it now? So you have put pagan symbols. Forsaking me, you uncover your bed. You climb into what? Into it. Open it wide. You made a path with those whose bed you love. You look with lust on their what? Naked what? Bodies. I get it now. Let me leave that, not talk about that some other time. Let's look at it. Now look at the line. Behold, your doors and your doorposts, you have put your pagans word symbols. You see it now? They put pagans. Israel was now involved. I get it down. I get it down. They now put their pagan symbol. Maybe those ones that we go to, what do you call it? Maybe it's occultism or whatever. Maybe they put their occultic symbols at the word at that door. I get that it could be that of reptiles or whatever. We will see that one in Ezekiel later on. You will see all those things. The reptiles, other things they put as pictures and symbols and whatever. Even it should be also in the temple and other places like that. That's Ezekiel chapter what? Chapter 8. You can read from verse 1 on your own, okay? But we'll cut it short in righteousness. Now see LT. What LT said in that Isaiah 57 verse 8. I want to read that line. I'll leave the other one. You read the other one yourself. You have put pagan symbols on your doorposts and behind what? Your doors. Read the other line yourself. Get it now. See, that's what truth is. You have put it. You have involved into idolatry. You have gone to that extent whereby you begin to carry pagan symbols. You put it at the door, the doorposts, understand point, and behind your doors. See Israel be involved in all these things. Yes, I quoted Ezekiel 8 just now. So what you have to do, read from verse 1 of your own to the end. But we'll cut it short in rapture. We'll read verse 3, verse 5, and verse 10. Are you getting it now? Let's see it now. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 3, verse 5, and 10. Now look at verse 3. And he put forth the form of an hand, and took me by a lock of my head. And the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me the visions of God to Jerusalem. That's what happened to Ezekiel. Ezekiel was in the vision of God concerning Israel. To the door of the inner gate that looked toward the wall, to the north, where was the seat of the image of what? Jealousy. What image of jealousy? Those are what? Shrines. Those are what? Shrines. You understand where? several images. Name them. Seed of the image of jealousy. We provoke the world to jealousy. Now jump to verse 5. Then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thy head now, and now, lift up thy head now the way toward the north. So I lifted up my head the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the wall, at the gate of the altar. Listen, I get what I'm saying now. Listen to what I'm listen. If you read that place very well, you'll find out that Jerusalem is the city. Are you getting it now? Are you following? Jerusalem is the city. Then the temple is where? In Jerusalem. I get it now. So what Ezekiel was seeing, he was seeing the idolatry in the city Jerusalem, in the standpoint, and also as what? Creeping into what? Into the temple. Are you getting it? I would have said that from verse 1 because of time. We'll all read from verse 1. When you read from verse 1, you see how it all goes. Now look at verse 5. See verse 5. Say, then he said unto me, Son of man, lift up thy eyes. Now the way toward the north. So I lifted up my eyes, the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar. Which gate of the altar? That should be maybe referring to the temple there. Am I correct? Okay. This image of jealousy in the what? In the entry. See the entry. You see it now. Now jump to verse 10. So I went in and saw. What did he see? And behold, every form of creeping things, abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the wall, ran about. See now. So when I got to see, and I found out that word, whoa, these are pictures. I get it now. These are pictures. Idolatry, you understand for it? Are pictures, images, and other things. Let's see. I want to read 3 translations there in our material. We have the Amplified, NLT, and NASB. Then we have CEF, which is contemporary. Let's see the NIV. Let's see what Amplified said. Verse 10. Capturing verse 10. See what happened. What the Amplified said. So I entered and looked and saw every kind of creepy things and beasts and loathsome things, and all the idols of the house of Israel carved all around on the wall. All the walls, you begin to see it. See idolatry. Israel was involved. Now let's see what NLT said. NLT said, so I went in and saw the walls covered with engraving of all kinds of crawling animals, disdainable creatures. I also saw the various idols worship by the people of what? Israel. The NASB, what did he say? So I entered and looked, and behold, every form of creeping things and beasts and terrible things, with all the idols of the house of Israel, were carved on the wall all around. The CEV said, inside, I saw that the wall were covered with what? Pictures of what? Reptiles. You see it now? This was disgusting. Unclean animals, as well as what? Idols that the Israelites were what? Worshipping. You see it now? So you see that Israel were involved in those things. Am I getting it now? So that is what we call that what? Symbols in that regard. So let me round up with this one. Okay, and I have about we have one scripture there to read, but let us see. Let's start off with this one, and that's where the end of it. Cursing or blessing. With what? With the names of what? Names of idols. It's what? It's an idolatry. Remember, there was a clear story of this man, of this part. Is a man called Balaam. Okay? A clear story of this part. I'll read that Exodus 23, verse 13. A clear story of this man is a man called what? Called Balaam. So permit me, let me just to take some of your time. Let's go to Numbers. I want to read some scriptures quickly in that regard. Before we read Numbers, I want to read Joshua chapter 13. Joshua 13:22. I want to read Joshua 13:22. Are you following me? Good. Then we'll go, after Joshua 13:22, then we'll go to Numbers, whether 22 or thereabout. Then I will just read a few ones, okay? Then what you have to do is to all you have to do is just to what? Just to read all. Okay? All these things are in our material. Okay? They're in our material already. Okay? Joshua 13, verse 22. What did they say? It said, Balaam, also the son of what? Beor. The what? Suit what? Soothsayer. That's why you see now. And he fall under what? Workers with what? Familiar spirit. But the soothsayer. I get it now. But the soothsayer. Okay? Read the rest yourself. Was a what? A soothsayer. I want you to get that clear. Balaam was a what? A sooth what? A sooth what? A soothsayer. Now let's see Numbers chapter 22. Numbers 22. So Balaam was a sooth what? Soothsayer. You read the rest yourself on that line. Then let's look at it. Numbers 22 from verse 1. See what happened. Now Israel was preaching around the camp of what? Let's read it and see if I'm clear, if I'm correct. Numbers 22 verse 1. Look at it. It said, the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plain of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. Verse 2. And Balak the son of what? Zippor saw all that Israel has done to the what? To the what? Amorite. You see it now? Then Israel said, verse 2. Moab was so afraid of the people. Which people? Israel. Because they were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. Verse 4. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak, did I say verse 2 Balak the first time? Huh? Balak, okay. Verse 2, you have Balak there. Now don't look at verse 1. It said, okay, verse 2, you have Balak. Now verse 4 now. It said, and Balak the son of Zippor was the king of the Moabites at that time. Now look at what now, verse 5. And he sent messengers, therefore, unto Balaam. You see now. Who is Balaam? Balaam is what? Soothsayer. You see it. What are the purpose of Balaam? Let's see. We'll see what happened later on. And he sent a message therefore unto what? Balaam, the son of Beor, to what? Peter, which is by the river of the land of the children of what? Children of his what? Of his people. To call him, saying, behold, there is a people come out from what? Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they died over against me. Verse 6. Verse 6. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me these people. You see it now. Which name is he going to use to curse? Is it the name of God? No. He's going to curse them in the name of what? What he believes, which is idolatry. I get it now. So when we look at one of the volumes, what's it, volume 1? Volume 1, see volume 1, we talk about enemy. In that volume 1, okay, you will now see what happened in that part. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Alright? So that's that. Let's go to verse 6. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me these people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure, as I prevail, that we may smite them, and I may drive them out of the land. For all that he whom thou blessed is blessed, and he whom thou cursed is what? Is cursed. So whose name is he going to use to curse them? The name of the Lord or idolatry? So that I think you must have understanding. So that's why what we're going to read now is an instruction. Moses told them through the mouth of God. God told Moses to tell the children of Israel that they should not involve into cursing or blessing with the name of what? Idols. Because, why he says so? Because that is what the soothsayer get themselves involved. Balaam was a clear example in that state. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So let's go back to our material. Cursing or blessing with the names of idols or juju is an example of what? Idolatry. Exodus chapter 23, verse 13. Exodus 23, verse 13. What did he say? In all things In all things that I have said unto you, be what? Circumspect. And make no mention. You see what now? Make no mention of the names of mention of the name of other gods. Neither let it be heard out of what? Out of their mouth. You see now? So don't mention any other gods. Don't let it be named. Don't let it be mentioned or be heard out of their mouth, to put it right. I get it now. So these are things you must have understanding. Now let's see what the Amplified Version said. Now concerning everything which I have said unto you, be on your guard. Do not mention the name of other gods, either in a blessing or in a word, in a curse. You see it now. Do not let such speech be heard coming from your word, from your mouth. You see it? I get it now. Because why? That is idolatry. In idolatry part, that's where you see the social come up. That's why you find out that people move from church to church, having issue with people. They look for people that will curse the person. Understand the point? They move from there. They go from native doctor, they go from suicide, they go from several places to work those things. Because to them, they need someone to work, to help them out in those words, in those things. Are you following what I'm saying now? So these are things you must have understanding. So the only thing I will say to us now is that, especially those that are listening through what? The online, that you should go, read through this and get the tape for what? Understanding. And let me quickly say this. If you have questions, if you have questions, go to the comment section. Understand the point? Just try to what? Ask questions, please. And I want to also say this. When you're asking questions, what we'll do here is that we use study guide material to answer questions. I get what I'm saying now. I get what I'm saying now. We don't disturb ourselves over what one pastor has preached. That one, the other one is titled to their own opinion. What we do, focus on study guide material here. You look at the scripture and just like that. That's what we do here. Understand the point? So we'll stop here for today. God bless you. Till we'll see you next week. You're welcome.
End the live broadcast.